it. I hope everybody's enjoying watching you stuff your face full of nuts over there from your little nut can. You're going to town over there like as though we're not recording this on video.
Josh, no one's watching.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Fun Money Podcast. We are your fun money hosts, fun guys extraordinaire, Josh Hargrove.
And Ross Powell.
So good to have you back.
I just realized I'm wearing the same bow tie.
Yeah, well, I'm wearing the same T-shirt and hat as last time.
Wow. I'm going to see if I can switch it while you're talking.
Oh, wow, that's interesting.
It is interesting.
Okay, we're talking today about which shares... Man, I thought I would be able to get through this. Which shares... Gosh, I still can't get there. Which shares should you sell? Man.
Woo!
Which shares should you sell? I did it. Well, that is tough.
Twice now.
Okay.
So you're thinking about selling some shares that you own.
Some stock. Shares of stock.
So
which ones?
Why aren't all shares the same?
Well, not exactly.
Let's start there. What are the differences between shares so that we can make an evaluation
of
which shares we should sell?
Okay, well, if you own a share of a stock, in terms of what it's worth, they are the same.
Okay.
Okay, so if I own a share of Apple stock, let's say that was bought 100 years ago, which is impossible, I guess.
Well,
but
okay.
How about let's go with 30 years ago?
All right.
And I have a share of Apple stock that I bought yesterday. Those are both worth the same thing today. Okay, it's worth whatever Apple stock is trading at, right? That's what people are willing to pay for these. They don't care how long I've held it. They just want a share of stock. Here's what they're willing to pay for it. Okay?
So who cares how long you've held it?
Well, Mr. Accountant, Uncle Sam minds.
The government
cares. The government minds. That's right.
Shoot.
They are going to tax you. Looks.
No mirror?
Oh yeah, you got a bow tie on again.
A different one.
That's nice. It's almost like this is a different day. Okay, we digress. Uncle Sam cares because they want to charge you some taxes on their shares of stock, depending on how long you've held them. Okay, so long term, short term, they do care very much how long you have held them, and they categorize them differently. So in that regard, yeah, definitely different. Why are we talking about this? Well, Ross, can I tell you a story?
Tell me a story.
I'm going to tell you a story about a friend of mine. Let's call my friend Bojangles.
Oh man, I thought you were going to say Jim Bob.
Jim Bob, no, Bojangles.
Bojangles. All right, tell me about Bojangles.
Bojangles owns some shares of stock, okay, and of XYZ company, and XYZ company's stock price has gone down in recent months. Okay, so
that's unfortunate.
Yeah, so he happens to be in a circumstance where Bojangles is wanting to, let's say that he's wanting to put a pool in his backyard. He's like, all right, I need some cash to put the pool in this backyard, and so what I'm going to do is I want to sell some of my stock so that I can put this pool in. Maybe that might be overdoing it. Let's say he wants to go on a vacation. Okay, it's not going to cost nearly as much as a pool. So I'm going to go on vacation, sell some stock, and use that money to go on this vacation.
Okay.
And so what Bojangles says is here's what I'm thinking, Josh. I have some stock, some XYZ stock that I already own. Problem with that stock, Josh, is that it's gone down in value. So what's going to happen is I'm about to, because I get this whiz-bang stock purchase plan at my company, and I get to basically buy at a lower price at a discount from what it's trading at. I can buy this stock, and the stock price that they've established that we're going to buy it at, it already has some good gain in there. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to buy the new stuff, and then I'll sell that. That's where I'll get my cash to go on my vacation. Good idea, right, Ross?
I'm not exactly following why it would be a good idea. Aren't all shares the same?
Aren't all shares the same? Well, hold on a second. What are you implying here?
The old shares that he's going to sell to free up cash.
No, he said he wants to sell the new shares.
He wants to sell the new shares.
He wants to sell the new shares.
Okay.
Yeah. And here's why. Because Bojangles says, why I don't like the idea. It doesn't make sense to sell these shares that have depreciated in value. And so here's what's going on, and this is this is life, right? And investing is no different. And it's the emotions, it's the psychology that goes into the financial decisions that you make that impact what you choose to do, but that may or may not be the right move. But it's difficult to sell something that's lost
Used to
some
be
money,
worth
right?
more?
Yeah. I mean, right? I mean, can't you relate to that?
I mean, I could see how logically, no, you should not relate to this. But emotionally,
Absolutely, you can.
I want it to be worth what it used to be.
Yeah. I don't want
3
to
weeks
I don't
ago.
want to give up this because it'll get back to where it was. He's
But
not
numbers,
unusual.
logically, whatever you buy at today's price, if it's going to move up to tomorrow's price, it's going to move up.
Yeah. So it doesn't
So
matter.
you need to evaluate
Are there other factors,
other factors.
such as what does Uncle
Who
Sam have to
cares
say about this?
when you bought it?
Yeah, exactly. And who does care? The government.
Uncle Sam, the government.
Government. Okay. So you're an accountant. I hope
am.
everybody's enjoying watching you stuff your face full of nuts over there from your little nut can. You're going to town over there like as though we're not recording this on video.
Josh, no one's watching. None of these have been published yet.
But when they are,
When they
I'm
are.
gonna be like, man, that guy. Okay. So tell us, Mr. Powell, CPA extraordinaire, mint muncher, nut muncher, what is the difference between these two shares that Mr. Bojangles has, the ones that he's about to buy and the ones he's held for, let's say he's held them for 2 years.
Okay, so what I think your hypothetical scenario is that the old shares have gain built into them, and the new shares have loss.
Other way around. The old shares.
The old shares have loss
Yeah. The new shares
from
are
the
gonna
original
have-
purchase price.
Let's go with yes. Let's say that yes, from the original purchase price of those old shares. Let's say you bought it for $100 a share, and it's now trading at 90. Okay, so that's the situation with the old stuff. But the new shares, he's going to be able to buy at 70, and they're worth 100. I'm sorry,
They're worth 90.
Buy them at 70, but they're also worth 90 because that's what it's trading at.
Okay, so a short-term capital gain is taxed at your current income rate. A long-term capital gain is taxed at capital gain rates.
Yeah.
So if you have a gain, it's best for it to be long-term.
Okay. So that would be a scenario where he bought it at 100 and it's trading at 110. But so that basically what you're saying
he has
is
a short-term loss.
It's short-term loss. Yeah.
This would be an opportunity to do some tax loss harvesting.
What does that mean? Man, that's a big old fancy phrase you just said there.
It's fancier than it sounds. But if you have these losses, you can record sell the stock that has a loss and write it off on your tax return up to certain limits and adjust against other income of similar nature.
Yeah. So essentially what Ross is getting at is if you're going to sell the shares, there's going to be a net cash flow to you. Net being after taxes come out. And either you're going to pay a short-term capital gains tax, which will be the highest, a long-term, which is after that, or you might even be able to take a capital loss, in which case you're going to take that loss against future current or future gains in that year or future years. So the calculation is not which one feels better, it's which one is going to net cash flow better to me in the short and the long run. And that's the way that you need to approach this.
Yeah. So, Josh, were you able to have this conversation with Bojangles about the differences between the shares, the early purchased shares and the late purchased shares, and which one was going to be more beneficial to?
Ross, I looked him dead in the eye. I said, stupid is as stupid does. And I walked off.
I doubt it. Highly doubt it.
Yeah, I'm not that kind of guy, right?
I mean, sometimes.
Sometimes.
But not to your clients.
Not tonight. Well, he's not a client. He's Bo Jingles is just a buddy. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I was able to kind of walk him through that, right, and unpack that for him. But it was one of those conversations where I thought things like that might be like, I don't know, second nature to us because we're in this all day, every day.
Thinking about it often.
Yeah, but if you're not, and once every few years or something, when you're going to liquidate stock for something, you're not necessarily thinking about all those different factors. So that's why we wanted to record this, because isn't that pretty? It's understandable, and it's common that you would look at this and go, "Oh man, these stocks have gone down in value. I don't want to touch those. I want to let them come back, almost like it's a plant that's kind of shriveled a little bit." And it's like,
it's not
not
dead
exactly
yet.
how it works. Yeah. There's still life in it. It's like, look, it's an asset, and the old stuff and the new stuff are all worth the exact same thing right now.
Plus or minus the other factors that may affect your net cash flow. So
exactly.
Consider the other factors, I think, is the point of this podcast.
Yeah, exactly. Now,
let us help you.
Does it always mean, by the way, do you always go, oh, I'm just going to take the loss? Is that always what you should do? Of course not, right? I mean, it's just not always. But oftentimes, if you need the cash, you need to sell the shares and there's a loss, pretty good chance that the loss is the better move.
Yeah. And this, of course, is in a taxable account, not a
good point.
Qualified account where, short-term timing differences don't have much weight.
Yeah, exactly. All right, well, anything else we need to add to the
I don't think
what
so.
shares
Just
to sell?
Do a quick summary.
Okay, quick summary is if you are planning to sell stock in a taxable account, so this is a taxable, this will trigger taxes of some sort. There is going to be a net cash flow to you. So whether a stock is trading at a premium or at a loss, all the shares are going to be the same. If we're talking about the same share, right? They're all valued at the same. So the question is, which is going to generate the greatest positive cash flow to you overall? And that is likely the strategy that you want to use when determining which shares to sell.
Wow.
Yeah, how about that?
That was like twice the length of the wrap-up that I was expecting. But, of course, you're the one with all the words, and I'm the one with
all the nuts.
General
in the can.
And the nuts.
Yeah. Nice.
Shout out to Target. Thanks for the nuts.
Thanks for the nuts, Target. Yep.
Okay, Josh, what have you been listening to?
I got started on a podcast that you told me about to listen to.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a podcast on cults. Because you had told me how you and your wife are into cults.
Yes. Undeniably. Yes, we're into cults.
Just to clarify, they're not into a cult.
We're not in a cult.
They find it interesting to learn about all the
fascinating
weirdness that of cults. So this is a particular one called Twin Flames that we started listening to some episodes on, and it's pretty interesting. Very, very odd and strange. And it just goes to show how easily people can be led astray, especially led astray by people who are completely uncredentialed. So you know what? Let that be a lesson to you listeners. If you're going to take advice from somebody, do yourself a favor. Make sure that they have some sort of credibility, particularly, credentialed credibility, before you go putting all your faith and trust in them. How about you, Ross? What have you been listening to?
I've been listening to Chris Isaac, completely unrelated to Twin Flames, but
Chris Isaac, Wicked Game.
Yeah,
Chris Isaac?
Yeah. That slide guitar, man. Yeah, just nothing else quite like it.
Are there any other Chris Isaac songs besides Wicked Game that you listen to?
That's
or you just have that on repeat.
Yeah. If I was going to learn to play one on guitar, it would be that one. There are a couple of other that I listen to, but in general, it's Wicked Game.
Yeah.
Or the multiple covers of Wicked Game by lots of different artists. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's what I've been listening to lately. So check out Wicked Games and Twin Flames.
What a strange pairing of recommendations for this episode.
Yes.
All right, that's all the time we have. We will catch you guys next time.
See you soon.